I am Dr. Charles Amadi. Yeah, I'm the head of the breeding division in the institute, and I am a director and also the leader of the potato team that recently released some potato varieties. The potato seed sector in Nigeria is in dire need of improved varieties because many of the existing varieties are very susceptible to lead blight, leading to recurrent outbreaks of lead blight. Like last year, the institute was invited by both the federal and state governments of Plateau and then the federal government to look into the recurrent outbreaks of lead blight. And one of the solutions we proffered was the use of resistant varieties. So, and it's our mandate to develop these varieties. That is why we worked hard in collaboration with SIP and GIZ in this instance through the NSSP project to release these varieties. Four of them, three of them are highly resistant to lead blight, like varieties like Kyo. We gave them local Hausa names, Babang and Jurea. They are highly resistant to lead blight. And also Unica is tolerant. That is, in spite of the blight, it will still give a very good yield. So both varieties, all the varieties are actually our way, our solution to the recurrent outbreak of lead blight. And again, their yields are also very high, more than double that of the existing varieties. So we hope that these varieties will really bring about increased potato production in Nigeria and also lead to food security and economic development. Yeah, the four newly released varieties have some outstanding characteristics. The first one, Kale, is looking very beautiful and it is highly resistant to lead blight and is also good for processing into French fries. Also, the second one, uh, Babang produces very large tubers, and you know both farmers and consumers they love large tubers. It produces very large tubers, and is also highly resistant to lead blight, and also very good for processing into crepes. So it's a very good variety. And the other one, Jurea. Jurea is also highly resistant to lead blight and also good for processing as well as for table consumption. Then you have a Unica that is multi-purpose with red skin, bulks very fast, and is early maturing with very high yield and moderate resistance to lead blight. All the varieties are resistant to potato viruses X and Y. So that is also a bonus for those varieties. So those are their unique characteristics, which we think will endear them not just to the farmers, but to processors and other stakeholders in the potato value chain. So the unique thing about these newly released varieties is that they came in as tissue culture materials, that is plantlets in tissue culture bottles. That is how they came in, very pure. And then from there, they were multiplied using the rapid apical cutting method to form mini tubers that were used for the trial. So in the course of developing these materials, the institute also acquired the knowledge, the know-how, the skill to be able to rapidly multiply these materials. And as we are talking, there are already not less than a hectare of each of these materials in multiplication. And again, we are hoping that from there we can now begin to rapidly build up these varieties so that farmers can get them very quickly. So the very good thing about it is that now we have the rapid apical cutting techniques to help us to rapidly multiply these varieties. And the institute is also setting up a semi-autotrophic hydroponics facility in Jos to also aid in the rapid multiplication of these newly developed varieties. So we are hoping that with that, the institute will be able to provide the early generation seed that seed growers will need to be able to grow certified seed so that farmers can always have clean planting materials of these varieties. In the first place, releasing these varieties is actually actualizing the mandate of the institute, which is to develop and release new varieties of fruit and tuber crops. So by doing that, we are actualizing our mandate, but also we are making farmers, we are giving them alternatives to the materials they are already producing. Like for instance, before now, we have 6 varieties released or registered by the institute that are with farmers. And now with this additional 4, they now have 10. So they have more options. And these newer options now, these new varieties are coming with late blight resistance, which is something that is in dire need by the farmers. So we expect that farmers should be able to generate more income by growing these high yielding varieties. We expect that that will also dovetail into an improvement in their livelihoods. Those of them that have borrowed money to set up their farms will be able to pay back, and in general, the economics of Plateau will be enhanced, and the whole nation at large. A lot of these materials are good for processing, and we know that most of the processed potatoes we have in our supermarkets are all imported. So local processors will be encouraged by these releases to also be able to locally produce processed potatoes. That will save us money of the money spent on importation, which can also be used for other developmental purposes. So by and large, we think that this potatoes release will enhance food security and also bring about economic development. Okay, so as a parting word, we know that the cycle is not completed if these varieties are not adopted by farmers. So farmers will need to adopt it, they will need to grow it so that they can benefit from all these advantages we have listed. That is one. And then two, we urge farmers to trust the institute. We're always there to meet their needs. There are many more varieties resistant to late blights that are in the pipeline that will be coming up in the next few years. Going forward, we will be releasing more varieties to give them more options, to grow potato profitably, even with the blight challenges that are on the plateau and other high altitude areas where potato is grown. So we are there for them. They are our reason for existence, and we will always strive to meet their needs. So we urge them to adopt these varieties, to grow them, and then, so that they can benefit from the numerous advantages. Thank you so much.